Watch him throw the ball, we gon' pick it off. You gon' let him hit the hole or you gon' cut it off. You gon' play through fourth and long or you gon' punt it off. Your defenders, heavy hitters, put your pads in. Don't be looking for the ref to throw no flags in. Keep the helmet on, keep the cleats tight. You the type to want to win by any means, right? You should look alive. This is Trap or Die.
Yes, sir. Welcome back to another episode of Trap or Die Podcast. I'm your host of the Trap or Die Podcast, Mual. I was on that too much. In here with the fellas, man. AJ, Dre in the building. Before we check in with the game, make sure everybody who's tapped in right now hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Benz, I see you, player. What it do, man? If you on the audio side, hit that follow button. If you have not subscribed yet to the Trap or Die Podcast feed, and hit us with a rating review if you haven't done so, man. We definitely appreciate that as well. Johnny Newton film session is out. Shout out, man. No, I don't need to use my Wi-Fi. I'm using cellular. Shout out to my man Matt, bro. He's done this a couple times. Matt Brown. I gotta shout him out, man. Huge donation to the channel and supporting the film sessions. You've done that a couple times, Matt. And I'm not going to tell you how to spend your money, but I was like, hey, you could become a member, bruh. Member of the Trappers, bruh. But like the supporters appreciate it. And honestly, bruh, you never know, what the words could do for somebody, man. Because that's a big moment just to even, wake myself up and be like, bruh, people be paying attention. So we definitely appreciate that, Matt, and showing your support as you've done so a few times over the years. So appreciate that. Amani, I see you. Monty, I see you. Fellas, AJ, Dre, what's going on with y'all? How y'all feeling like?
Feeling great, man. It's the weekend. Football time again. You know what it is.
Yeah, man. Feeling good. Welcome home, Slime.
Yeah.
Thug is free.
We got to get that at the top of the show.
Yeah, crazy they released them on Halloween. But, yeah, just hoping the best for him and his family. But yeah, it's been a pretty interesting week in the DMV. We hit 80 degrees on the
October
last day of
31st.
October. I mean, I was legit sweating a little bit outside today.
Yeah, I ain't gonna
So
lie. I thugged it out
yeah,
this morning, bro. I was like, no, I don't need no sweater. I don't need no hoodie, no jacket, nothing. Like, I went outside, t-shirt, 5 a.m. to the subway. Like, yeah, I'm gonna thug it out for these 20 minutes because I know when I get home it's gonna be 80.
Yeah. When are we getting fall? Like,
I mean,
I
I'm
need
not,
fall.
I'm not resting fall.
Yeah, I
I
ain't
just
complaining.
don't want to get sick in the process with the weather change going from hot and cold. So I'm just doing precautionary things.
Well,
I
that's
pretty
why you
much
need to
don't.
rush it.
Nah, I pretty much don't get sick, but I'm cool. I ain't really re-up on all my hoodies and everything yet. So yeah, I think the rest of the weekend in the 70s, honestly.
Oh, that's a good point. Except I know it ain't gonna be Sunday, and we got games on Sunday too. Damn.
I think
Oh
Sunday
no,
I probably
it's
seen it
60
was like
degrees.
maybe 60 on Sunday, but
Yeah, that's the one day. Tomorrow ain't too
yeah.
bad though. Tomorrow on Saturday. You should Saturday, whatever. Okay. All right. So, fellas, we have the New York Giants up this week, and before we get into our burning questions, Cliff Kingsbury and Joe Witt Jr. spoke. We'll get into that in a second. Jayden Daniels, he won another Rookie of the Week award. That's his 6th out of the 8th award issued for rookies this year. Rookie of the Week awards issued this year. So he's won his 6th after his performance against Chicago. Injury wise, Brandon Coleman had a full day of practice today. I'm trying to pull up the injury report, but we don't have it up on Hawks Haven just yet. So I'm kind of spitballing here. So I guess in the essence of Jayden Daniels winning his 6th Rookie of the Year award, the record is 9. Is he getting over 9?
Well, he didn't win Rookie of the Month this time. They gave that to Bo Nix.
Okay, shout out to him.
Yeah.
Shout out to Bo.
I think they got tired of giving Jayden no awards. You know what I'm saying? Like spread the
But he
wealth.
ain't
Let
good enough
somebody else get a
quarterback.
little touch. Yeah. Wasn't
Hey, man,
Caleb.
we ain't even focused on no Rookie of the Year. We focus on clinching his playoff berth and possibly got an MVP. Something.
Well, he got Rookie of the Year on lock for sure.
Oh, yeah,
but I think for me, in my lifespan, Washington has never had a guy that's even been considered as an NFL MVP candidate.
No. Not since we were born, AJ. But let's not forget, we had a damn kicker win the award in 1982.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, that's what I'm focusing on. It's like you finally got a blue chip player. I mean, you had one in Trent Williams, but they weren't even giving him proper accolades during that time. He wasn't getting the All Pros and stuff like that during his span with Washington. Even though people knew he was the best left tackle in the game. But to have your quarterback as being someone that's even in these conversations with the people that are voting. So even though, we may not give credence to everything that we see on TV, but a lot of those individuals that speak on these daily shows on these networks have the votes. And if they're, considering a Jayden Daniels as a possible MVP up there with the Lamar Jacksons of the world, the Josh Allens or Jared Goffs, you have to take credence to that. And I think it should supersede any talk about Rookie of the Year, because automatically, if you're in the MVP conversation and it is your first year in the league, you already won the Rookie of the Year. You feel me?
Oh yeah. and that's what's so crazy to me. Like, I mean, we're talking about year one. Well, we're not even supposed to be in this conversation right now. Like, as a team, we aren't even really supposed to even be talking about playoffs right now. When you talk about having a first-year head coach, a rookie quarterback, all of the roster turnover they've had, and Jayden Daniels is having this type of season to put himself in that conversation. And like I said, we're just kind of scratching the surface. We still got this guy for at least another 4 years on a rookie deal. So just imagine what you can do to build around that. Like, he's going to be in this conversation every year if he's healthy. That's the exciting thing about this.
He's going to be up there. And I think my main thing when I think about the MVP, like even for me, now I did cash out on this a couple weeks ago, but I'm going to make another play. But I actually put in a little change on the MVP. I just didn't like the odds at that point because like they got watered down a little bit. So I'm like,
What was it when you got it?
So I can't remember the exact number, but it was 25 I put in, and it was to win like 225. But at the time I got in late, if that makes sense. Like if I put in a little bit earlier, it would have been like 25 to win like 500. But I think we didn't play Lamar yet. So Lamar was still taking off, odds watered down, I cashed out. But point being, and when I say this, is like the MVP race in itself, like for you to be in there and considered, one of the bigger things that cannot be underestimated is that media influence, right? There are several people in the media at this point who have said that Jayden Daniels should be considered for the MVP. And there's no way that you can look at this objectively, period, and say that that's bullshit. Like he is legitimately in the race for MVP, and there are several reasons listed. There are several reasons available for that to be the reason. I mean, first off, 6-2, with the potential to go 7-2 just in a couple of days. You have the number 3 ranked offense in yards and in points scored. Your third downs, like and now voting wise, they won't say like, oh, he has one of the best third down offenses. But the point being is just how efficient you are on a down-to-down basis, and even in critical moments, you are an essential piece. So when I say third downs, that's what I mean. Like you keep your offense on the field. Defenses have to adjust to you, and when they do focus on you, they still can't stop you. Your arm talent is incredible. You've had splash plays at this point, like memorable moments. Like these are things that actually catapults you into the MVP, like a serious MVP conversation. Like your biggest moment to date is going to be the Hail Mary. And like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Like, and the next one is the Monday night game against Cincinnati when you drop a bomb or a rainbow bucket to Terry. Like those are things that are ingrained in people's memory when you think about MVP votes. And so as long as if Washington wins 11 plus games, gets a home game, number 2 seed, he's finishing top 3 in voting, period. Like I stamped that. In terms of number 1, we'll see, because I don't know who else is going to be. I mean, we know the names, but I don't know who else is going to be up there with him. Like, matter of fact, yeah, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Jared Goff may be up there, but like he's going to finish top 3, especially as a rookie, and that's going to be a precedent that hasn't been acknowledged since Jim Brown, which was the last time I guess they said a rookie has gotten the MVP honors as well.
Yeah, and you also look at the fact that those 2 games that you highlighted were primetime games in a sense. Like the game last week was the main game as far as for CBS coverage. That for 425? Yeah. Whenever they put the Jim Nantz and Tony Romo's together. They also had the Ravens game where he played good. You feel me? Then on top of that, Monday Night Football, the only game that's on. Well, was there another game on that night?
I think it was.
There was. Bills and Jaguars.
It was that horrible Jaguars and Bills game. That was a complete blowout.
They smoked them up. Yeah, bro.
So it's like with also the ability of the NFL schedule makers being able to flex games, the more that they continue to win and he becomes more of a superstar in their eyes, they're going to try to build up his portfolio even further and move Washington into those slots. You got an upcoming, I want to say 2 weeks from now, Thursday night game against the Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah. So, yeah, that's another opportunity for all eyes on me. Not to quote Tupac, but yeah. So I just think that is an amazing thing. I love the montages that's been put out. Even promoting Jayden, the support from his team, like We Believe in 5. I think all those things go a long way because in most people's eyes, they don't see a rookie as being someone that can captivate a locker room and a team in this manner. A lot of people were like, there won't be another CJ Stroud. That's too much pressure. But Hey, may there
Now,
be another Jayden Daniels?
Facts. And I don't think that they were wrong for thinking like CJ Stroud, because that's a high bar to set. But Jayden shattered that motherfucker, bro. He shattered that joke, bro. And that's kind of incredible to see, because first off, he shattered it, but then secondly, he's actually on the team that we follow and that we have a lot of emotions tied into. So I think that's the most impressive or the fun thing about this whole situation.
And I was going to say, to AJ's point, I mean, yes, it won't be another CJ Stroud as far as what he did, but Jayden Daniels is doing this his own way. Like, him and CJ are completely two different quarterbacks. Like, Jayden is kind of setting a mark that kind of hasn't been seen before, in a sense of, this is a guy who's come into the league. Everyone knows he's really great with his legs, but when you usually come into the league with that reputation, your passing is usually behind. But with Jayden, his passing ability or his passing level is probably even better than his legs at this point, which is insane, which is how he's been this unique guy. And for years, people are going to be looking for the next Jayden Daniels, and that's going to be a hard thing to find. He's setting bars that's going to be a hard thing to set. And, you know, we talk about the MVP thing, and that's fun and all, but we may have a couple of awards on deck with this team. Dan Quinn, he's definitely a candidate for Coach of the Year. Adam Peters may be in that conversation for Executive of the Year. Cliff Kingsbury may be in the conversation for Offensive Coordinator, or whatever that award is they give those guys per year. So this could be a year where Washington kind of gets their name and they kind of sweep into these awards that has been elusive to us over the years.
Yeah, bro. It's incredible to see. But as we mentioned, we do got the Giants right now. So while we're celebrating everything in terms of like actual hey, bro, why is he back in the chat, bro?
Hey, he timed this joint,
bro.
7 o'clock bet.
Hey, I feel like, hey, bro, I feel like if you call me that one more time, bro, I'm gonna just consider you a racist, bro. You may have to
you gotta stand. There
is no way in hell. I said, bro, there's no that felt so racist, bro. Because there's no way that you look at me and think CD Lamb. Like, I don't even got the same skin tone. Bro. I don't got no skin tone. My locks ain't even colored, bro.
Y'all not even the same skin tone.
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
That's what I'm saying, bro. It don't make no sense.
You just see black dude with dreads. He might as well say Predator.
Might as well, bro. But we got the Giants up, bro. And I think for us, the bigger injury concerns actually relied or existed at the tackle position. Cornelius Lucas, they reported immediately after the game they had a boot on. And then obviously Brandon Coleman didn't play at all. Brandon Coleman, he's a full participant in Thursday's practice. And for a person who was listed as a concussion injury, you got to deal with that in a sense to not deal with that, like you got to get cleared, right?
Oh man,
you got to get cleared, right? So, hey, bro, stop laughing at this man,
hey,
bro.
Put him on mute.
Hey, go ahead. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna do us a favor.
I thought I was on mute, man.
There we go. Nah, we good, bro. We good, bro. All right. So, matter of fact, Terry's on the injury report. I don't know if he was on the injury report last week, but this is what I thought about bringing up, because this was interesting to me when he caught the 60-yard bomb. And people kept saying he got tripped up, which he did. I don't know if y'all noticed, but he got like, it was like a little stump when he got caught. Like when he caught the ball, he was running, he caught it, and then like it felt like he got stopped up like by the ground. I don't know. Does that make sense to anybody? Like what I'm trying to explain?
Yeah, like yeah. What you're saying.
Okay, all right. So in my head, I was glad it wasn't a knee injury. When he got caught up with the ground in the actual trip itself. But I say that to say, I don't know if he was on the injury report prior to the Bears game, but he's on the injury report now with an ankle. So I wonder if what I saw, he actually did get hurt, but he's on the injury report now with an ankle. He practiced both on Wednesday and Thursday. He was a full participant, so there's no big deal. I'm sure he's gonna tough through it. But I'm just not concerned, but I'm just like, all right, that's noticeable in a sense. I don't know like how bad it'll be in terms of moving forward, but it's something that caught my eye.
Well, the good thing is he's a full participant, right? So I mean,
Yeah.
it just may be something that maybe it could be one of those pain tolerance type of deals that Jayden's kind of dealing with the ribs, because the most, like I said, when I see full participant, I'm like, okay, Terry is kind of trucking through, especially 2 days in a row. Now, if it was a limited participant, I'd be a little bit more concerned. I'm like, okay, Terry might be really dealing with something that he can't really practice on. He can't put too much weight on the ankle. But if he's fully out there playing, it's probably just something that maybe he gets over once he starts get the running and whatnot.
Yeah, man, I think he's perfectly fine. I mean, if you even look back at how them boys were celebrating at the end of the game, it wasn't anything wrong with that damn ankle to where it wouldn't make him be effective enough in a game. But yeah, you just got to list all these things just so you don't get hit with no fines or whatever. Yeah, I mean, I think honestly, when you sit here and look at the team from a full perspective, they're a pretty damn healthy team in comparison to a lot of
Yeah, they only got like 6 or 7 people
teams.
on the injury report.
Yeah, and most of the guys that have been injured aren't like or inactive aren't really major factors. Like, I mean, I guess you could bring up Jonathan Allen, but I mean, we've seen the utilization of Johnny Newton, of Fedarian Mathis, the Sheldon Days, and all these different guys kind of take some of that relief off of the injury. I mean, we'll see how it's going to look moving along with the rest of the schedule, but this is a pretty healthy team, bro. Like, hopefully, knock on wood, whatever, they continue to stay healthy, because that's what really matters at the end of the day when you're in the playoffs, is who's going to be the healthiest at that time.
And then lastly, the bigger name on the Giants side, given his recent emergence, is Tyrone Tracy, the running back. He put up 140 on their ass in Pittsburgh, Monday Night Spotlight, and then the week before that, I think he had a good game too. I don't remember the exact numbers, but I think he was close to 100. He didn't put up 100, I don't think. But Tyrone Tracy, he's in concussion protocol. He was limited on Thursday's practice, DNP on Wednesday. But Tyrone Tracy, I think it's interesting though, because
he's in concussion protocol.
Yeah.
Oh, he's not playing Sunday.
No, he's not playing. Y'all
don't think so? They said
he was. The way the NFL has set up the concussion protocol, no one that has entered that thing is playing the same week of a game. They're automatically out for 1 week.
Did you say he practiced?
Now I can understand. Yeah, he practiced on Thursday,
like
but I can understand if he missed, if he got hurt on Sunday and that happened. But he did get hurt on Monday. Sorry, let me rephrase. I can understand that being the case if he got hurt on Monday, which he did. But sometimes people do get concussed on Sunday and come back.
I mean, it's very rare. I'm not saying that it's mandatory by NFL rules, but I can't really tell you when I've seen someone get concussed on a Sunday or Monday in recent years and play the same week. Like, I have not seen that in a minute.
It is rare.
Like back in the day, hell yeah. But like,
you can go back out of halftime back in the day.
Yeah, but like nowadays, with how like many eyes are on that and really trying to, push, like, they have all these resources towards that, you're not seeing guys get concussed Sunday, Thursday. I mean, not Thursday, but Sunday or Monday, and then playing Sunday in 5-6 days or Monday. Like, it's just not happening. So I didn't even know that about
Mual did say he practiced. I mean, I knew about the concussion protocol, but I didn't realize that he practiced today. That could be trending towards the right direction, because a lot of times when those dudes get those concussions the same week that the game is being played, they usually don't practice that week. So practicing today,
that whole thing is weird. That's just weird. Because it's like, if you had a concussion Monday, how are you practicing
on Thursday?
Tuesday, 2 days later? Like, that's hella weird. But I mean,
a slight one.
Hey, one little hit gonna put him out. So
you gotta be careful with him. They really gotta be careful.
That's dangerous.
Because Frankie coming.
Yeah, they're on the way, bro. I think for Washington, that's probably one of their biggest things to take notice of. Is just that rushing attack. But I'm not. It's weird though, because the Giants' run game is something where I look at them and I'm like, I don't really respect it, but they popped off against us. Granted, we were week 2. But they popped off against us before Tyrone Tracy emerged. And then they popped off against the Pittsburgh Steelers, like out of nowhere. And they're not necessarily a run dominant team. They're actually one of the bottom third in the NFL in rush offense. But at the same time, I'm like, what exactly are they working towards to help Daniel Jones out? And that's kind of what has me stuck is like, these guys can get active, or maybe it's just a Devin Singletary thing where like he's just not consistent enough in that backfield for them. I don't know the answer, but I'm actually intrigued because like they had moments where they really pop off, and I think that's something that can really help Daniel Jones out, obviously. But I also think that this is something that Daboll actively works towards. It's just they have a sabotage under center.
And I was going to say, and that's one of the things that actually kind of concerns me about the defense, because initially going into the season, I thought pass defense was kind of the worst unit of the defense. But this season, we've struggled against the run. I guess damn near every team that we played against, including the Giants, as you mentioned. So it really kind of doesn't even matter who they have behind there. It's just something that's really not really been too successful with the defense as far as stopping the run throughout the course of the game. They've gotten much better at pass defense, but they're still allowing too much on the ground. I mean, hell, we let Chicago back into the game on the ground with DeAndre Swift. I mean, he gashed us in that game. So that's something for me that I'm looking to in this game. You know, if that run defense can step up, because honestly, I feel like if you stop that with the Giants, you make them one-dimensional, it should be a pretty easy game for the team. Like, because the Giants just don't have the horsepower, they don't have the firepower to really stay into it with a team that can really put up a lot of points like Washington's offense can. So it's imperative that you go into this game getting better at stopping the run, because we talked about this on Tuesday. We have teams coming up that's going to run the football. The Eagles in our division, that's one of the teams we're really worried about. We see them twice this year. So now if you're going to start getting better at stopping the run, it got to start this week against the Giants.
Yeah, man, I think the run defense, definitely they got to keep working on that. But I think just with this second matchup against the Giants, I think what's going to help them stop that run game is in these passing downs is bracketing Malik Neighbors, like focusing on him. Like I would bracket him the entire game. Like no matter what, that's what we would do, and force them to run the ball, force them to be one-dimensional. Yeah, I just don't really know about this Tracy injury. I think he has more explosiveness than the Devin Singletary does for sure. He's a solid running back, so that brings you some concern. But ultimately, I think with Washington's defense, you just really don't know what you're getting week in and week out. In the most recent weeks, they've been solid, but you still, got fixated in your mind like this could go either way this week. You feel me? Like you're just living in the moment of the games. Because going even against the Chicago Bears, I didn't see the defense being as productive as they were. Chicago couldn't do anything. Unfortunately, got a break with the DeAndre Swift, 50-some yard rushing touchdown. But that was the only momentum that offense truly had. They couldn't do anything in the passing game and majority of the game running up until then. So it's just like you just don't really know. But, I mean, Washington played this team week 2. I don't know how many yards Devin Singletary ended the game with, but I believe he had probably over 100.
Yeah, he was close. He was close to that number.
Yeah, like he had over 100, and Malik Neighbors went off as well. I just think
95.
I just think the key for me would be bracketing Malik Neighbors as much as possible and forcing them to run as much as they can and just trying to be productive. I mean, I'm not necessarily concerned too much about it because I still feel like Washington will be able to stop them in other places. It's just more so on the other end that we'll get to that I think is the main focus when it comes to this game.
Well, shout out to Bobby Wagner. who showed up big time in Joe Witt's eyes, according to his presser on Thursday, today, for those who are listening today. But Joe Witt on Bobby Wagner said that he studies like a coach. He's there the whole day watching film. He's also a person who spends a lot of time on the player's day off watching film, and also gets the other linebackers to watch film with him. Now this isn't on Hogs Haven, but I remember I was actually listening to the presser too. I may misquote him like verbatim, but I remember he said, Joe Witt said that he is an individual who likes to like get his film study out the way. And once he kind of understands everything or watches everything that he needs to watch, he then gets other people involved. And they have a conversation or they have a film study as well. He likes to he comes in early so he can do it. So he can do his own thing. And then when they come in, he has another film session with them as well. And then that's on the second level. The third level, Jeremy Chin stands out for Joe Witt as well too. His communication skills are making everyone better from what Witt says as well. And also likes the way that he's playing. So he's impressed by those two individuals. And I actually seen that on tape. It was one play specifically where Bobby Wagner made a tackle for like a 1 yard gain, and him and Jeremy Chin is literally having a conversation up until like a half second before the ball is snapped. And like when the ball is snapped, Bobby is like the plays to his left, and like they're talking, and he has his full back to the formation of the offense. And when he turns around, he still makes a play for like a 1 yard stop. Just in the sense of that matter. Now they cut it close, but that was just one example. Like they really do, like they communicate and like they make sure that they on the same page up until the very last second. So very, very good job for them. But obviously Bobby Witt sees it, and he wanted to make sure that that Bobby Wagner and Jeremy Chin specifically got shout outs when he spoke on Thursday.
Yeah,
that's coaching.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even need Joe Witt Jr. to do those shout outs today in his presser, because I seen it the entire game from the raw footage, how much control Bobby Wagner had on the defense, the command, the communication, the alignment pre-snap, how he was maneuvering post-snap. He knew everything that Shane Waldron was calling. Like he knew every single detail of that. So it's the game behind the game. Like he's essentially a additional coach on the field. He's the quarterback of the defense, and that's something that you've seen lacking in Washington, especially at that position. That's the linebacker position. The Mike with the green dot is one of the primary positions in all of football in any decade that you want to go to. Like some of the greatest players of NFL history have been middle linebackers, and the way that Ron Rivera and company devalued the position, especially when they played the position of linebacker. Ron played specifically with one of the greatest of all times in a Michael Singletary. The way that they devalued the position was insane. You can't just put bodies out there, and just because they're athletic, it is more nuance to it. And you could see Bobby Wagner has so much trust in what his eyes are seeing on the field, and he's rocking with it. It's like, it just reminds me of like the main era when we had like the younger Bobby Wagners, the Luke Kuechly, the Patrick Willis, the Raul Bowman, who was my client. Like those were the times at that middle linebacker position where these guys were just playing so fast and had so much command. I love seeing it. I love that the troops was just following along with him. And I think he's one of the most underrated signings of all of the NFL season, not just because we talk about Washington on here, but there's certain things that you just can't teach. Like you could call them old, whatever the case is, but if you know where the ball is going and you can get there before they get there, that works wonders. And you're seeing that displayed week in and week out, but especially against the Chicago Bears on Sunday. You've seen it.
Let's go ahead and get into our burning questions after we hear a word from our sponsor, Underdog Fantasy. All right, let's take a break from the show right quick, and let me tell you something about Underdog Fantasy. It is the greatest time of the year because football is back and it's here to stay till February. You can win up to 1,000 times your money just by choosing higher or lower on your favorite player stats such as touchdowns, passing yards, and more. Peep that touchdown thing, right? If you're a Commanders fan, Jayden Daniels, Brian Robinson, you're looking like money. You can make that entry on Underdog Fantasy, choose higher on their touchdown total, get you some bread. Making picks on Underdog is straightforward and signing up is even easier. Just head over Underdog's simple to use mobile app or UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up with promo code TrapperDive and Underdog will give you a free pick to use on your first cash pick'em entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. That's Underdog Fantasy promo code TrapperDive to claim your new customer special of a free pick and your deposit offer. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Massachusetts and Arizona, and present in the state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Void in Colorado. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. Arizona, 1-800-NEXT-STEP or 1-800-639-8783 or text NEXT STEP to 53342. New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY to 467-369. Fellas, burning questions, man. I'll kick things off on my end. For me, my pause for those is everybody that's tapped in live. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure the subscribe button. Definitely appreciate that. Don't forget. Anyway, burning questions. Mine's is about Cliff Kingsbury. What lesson? If there is one major lesson to take away from the first Giants game for Cliff Kingsbury, what would it be?
I'll take a stab at that first. Honestly, it has to be what we actually just seen in the Bears game. And we saw it in the Giants game, and that was the discipline in the red zone. I mean, you pretty much every time you went to the red zone in that Giants game, you somehow did something. Somebody did something stupid or something crazy where it ended up costing the team 5 petty yards here or there, and that just disrupts the whole flow. When you have a penalty in the red zone, it's always crucial because you don't want to go backwards in the red zone. You want to be as close as possible to get to that scoring opportunity. So, I mean, again, we just had this situation against the Bears. And the last time we had this happen against the Giants, Cliff Kingsbury made note of it that in the Tampa Bay game, which was played on the road, they didn't have those issues on the road. For some reason, they had those issues at home, and that was a home game against the Giants. Ironically, it was a home game against the Bears where they started having these pre-snap issues and these motion issues and, you know, these things that are confusing the team. I mean, it wasn't even just the penalties. It was the timeouts we had to burn down there because the confusion was on the play. So, you know, this is something that, you know, again, Cliff mentioned in the Giants game, they didn't have those issues on the road, but for some reason they had it at home. So you know what you have to work on with the Giants. You know you can move the ball with them. You've seen that happen. You just couldn't score touchdowns on them. Now, how are you going to respond after this Bears game when you had similar issues against the Giants game? That's where you clean it up. You clean up those red zone issues. You get everybody on the same page. Hopefully Brandon Coleman coming back, you know, get some cohesion with the offensive line, and, you know, some of those penalties that they were making just won't happen this week. That's the hope.
Yeah, I mean, I think, of course, like the key issue with that particular game was they were moving the ball. They just wasn't scoring touchdowns. Like, I mean, the brand new kicker had to kick, 7 field goals for them to win? So that means, I don't know, I can't remember how many of those were in the red zone. I want to say they probably had 5 of those trips in the red zone that ended up not being 7 or 8. They ended up having to be 3. I just think not overthinking it, not trying to get too cute within the red zone. I think some of those penalties were happening because guys were thinking a bit too much. But it was also week 2 of the season. I mean, this team looks completely different since the first 2 weeks of the year. But, of course, no matter what, even if they did score touchdowns in that game, you still don't want penalties setting you back, especially penalties within your control, such as a false start or a misalignment or illegal man downfield. Like, I mean, like we just witnessed with the Bears game. The kid scored a touchdown, but because Cosme went too far upfield, it got called back. Like, you just don't need those type of penalties happening. So the offense is playing with more discipline. And like I said, Cliff Kingsbury not trying to get too cute. I see some of those plays at times where it's like, all right, you doing a bit too much, man. Just like let's just focus in on, you know, if we truly believe that we have a power running back in a Brian Robinson, let's either spread these boys out or just run straight up the middle. Like, stop trying to do misdirections in the red zone. Like, run wise. Like, even with the Jayden thing, we kind of know the staple play that they use him in running, which is the pulling of the guard, and he follows behind them. It's like you're gonna have to get a bit more creative if you're gonna use Jayden in that instance to be the keeper. So yeah, that's the main thing, man. They could have blew out the Giants week 2 if they scored some damn touchdowns. It's funny enough that this is gonna be coming off a week where they should have scored touchdowns and they didn't. So that's the intriguing part.
Well, the last time they did that, they put up 30, and against Cincinnati on the road, bro.
38.
38, and here we go again. But look though, I think honestly, bro, it comes down to I think if there's one thing to take away is utilizing B-Rob more. Now, he had 17 carries against the Giants, but I'm saying B-Rob need to get 25. Now, what's frustrating is, like, this coincides with the Bears game. B-Rob was an absolute ghost in the second half against the Chicago Bears. And there were several factors to that. But I also think that Cliff, in my opinion, I think that Cliff saw the run game, Chicago was defending the run game pretty well in the second half, but he didn't put an effort forth to really find counters to how they were defending him, right? So I think against Chicago, especially when B-Rob is in a situation where he's frustrated, because if you start off, you got 55 yards or 60-something yards in the first half, whatever the number was. You was averaging over 5 yards a carry in the first half. And you go to averaging 5 yards a carry in the first half to like less than 2 in the second. I think that's a direct that'll be a direct impact in how your coach handles you the very next week. And then you're talking about a Giants game or Giants defense who doesn't really run the football. Defend the run that well. So in terms of like learning the lesson in itself from the previous game against the Giants, I still think it is running the football. 17 carries is good, but at the end of the day, I think that your run game is going to be the strength of your offense. And I also think that when it's becoming the strength of your offense and you're a run dominant team against the Giants, you also lessen the load on Jayden Daniels in a situation where, you know, he's developed more as a passer as time went on. But also, he got sacked 5 times against the New York Giants the first time around. He also got pressured way more than he got sacked, obviously. So it could have been a little bit more. But he got sacked 5 times. You're talking about a defense who actually leads the league in sacks. They're 35. They have 5 more sacks than the next team. So, and obviously my boy Dexter Lawrence, I love Cub, bro. He a dog. But Dexter Lawrence is a game record. And while Kayvon, I think, is kind of up in the air, I'm sure Brian Burns is playing. And they obviously have a pressure scheme that works. So for me, I think the issue isn't only on the fact that they weren't able to utilize B-Rob more than 17 carries. This is the fact that if they know better against this team and their pass rush and their ability to get to the passer as effective as they were in week 2, is to run the ball more with Brian Robinson and make sure that the backs of this offense and the back of this the scoring points is going to be on the running game period against the New York Giants. So that's kind of where I stand with Cliff.
Hey, Look, while we finish that up, let me get my burning question in.
What up?
And this is a question not necessarily, Giant specific, but more so, something we've been witnessing over these last few weeks. And I have to ask it because Terry McLaurin, he's in the midst probably of his best season yet. I haven't run the numbers to see what he's on pace for this season. But has Terry's performance with what we know now to be a legit quarterback, has that kind of changed you all's opinion on where you view Terry amongst the top wide receivers? Because before the season, the conversation through most people was that it was kind of preposterous to put Terry in that top 10 category, or you maybe not think of Terry as a legit bona fide number one receiver. Has that opinion changed for you all from what you've seen so far?
I don't think I think top 15 is where he belongs. I don't think him being in the top 5 as a receiver, because he is top 5 for those who don't know. He's like, I think number 4, if not number 5, in receiving yards this year so far. But I don't think that has changed my opinion. I think the biggest thing for people, and I'm not sitting here like on a high horse or anything, so don't take this the wrong way, for those that's listening. But like, if you understand his game as a receiver, like literally like understand what he does good, what he doesn't do good, like him having good statistical production is not the same as what he does good and what he doesn't do good in terms of comparing it to those top 5, like those elite receivers. And that's kind of where I say undoubtedly top 15 receiver, and top 15 receiver is a number 1. You may be a 1B, right? Because if you're at the bottom, you're a 1B, but you ain't that alpha dog. And I think you can have an alpha dog, and when you see what that looks like in person on a week-to-week basis, if he's on your team, then you know. But it doesn't change my opinion. But I never thought super low of Terry, so that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, I'm right there with Mual. I think the strengths and the weaknesses of his game still exist. Good for him that he's having a great statistical year going into week 8 of the season. That's not something that he's been accustomed to in his tenure as a Washington Redskin football team commander. So whatever accolades come for him and recognition from that, kudos to him. But I still see some glaring things that you wish that you had in another guy on this team. I think he's still within the top 15 if you break it down. But there's so many damn wide receivers in this league, bro. And the importance of wide receivers in this league is just as important as it's ever been over time. I mean, you just look at the last 3 weeks of the NFL season. Devontae Adams, Amari Cooper, Deontay Johnson. I'm trying to think if I'm missing another wide receiver that have all been traded in the matter of a couple weeks.
T. Higgins could be on the move soon.
Yeah, like you're seeing all these wide receivers like on the move, and these are guys that have had success in this league, and teams that even already have guys are still like, we need to add more. The Jets have a Garrett Wilson. They signed Mike Williams this year. They also have Lazard. They still said, let's go get a Devontae Adams. Carolina Panthers had just traded for Deontay. Like, he didn't even play a whole year in Carolina. They already decided to move on from him and get some type of asset. And the Baltimore Ravens, who are having great team success and, possibly the leading candidate for MVP, and Lamar Jackson still decided, let's go get another wide receiver to add with Aguilar, Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman. So even the Bills are having success too. I mean, they moved on from Stephon Diggs. Can't even say they lost him. Whatever was going on within that locker room. But they still went and said, after we spent our first round pick on a Keon Coleman from Florida State, we need a Amari Cooper. So I just think that's one of the things that makes me curious about this team going forward, whether that be before Tuesday's trade deadline, or even next year, they're going to have to add someone that may not be top 15, but may be top 10 to go alongside of Terry McLaurin if you want to get this offense to even further heights. Because right now they're just using a collection of guys to make do and trying their best to work within Terry McLaurin's, limitations and his strengths. But ideally that pass that happened Sunday, you would hope that's a touchdown. It should have been a touchdown, but that's one of his limitations. The only time I can really remember seeing him take a bomb to the crib was his first game ever against the Eagles. And that's probably just because they didn't have a scouting report on him because he ain't played preseason. And he really didn't play heavy snaps at OSU. So it's not like you had a bunch to refer to. But outside of that, anytime he catch a bomb, he getting caught. And he's fast enough, but he's not picking up his knees. So yeah, I mean, that's just what it is on that front. I think he's productive within the cause, but you still could use a dog outside of Terry.
So yeah, for me, I guess I asked that because I still put him somewhere in that top 15. I don't think that's ever changed for me. I've always thought he's been somewhere in the top 15. I think the biggest question for me was, is he a guy that could be a number one in your team and you have a successful offense? And I do think that opinion is changing a little bit. I do think he can be a successful number one wide receiver and you can have success in that offense, but I do agree that you still need more, it's in terms of what you already have in this wide receiver room. But with a Terry, I mean, yeah, he can go against the number one corners. He can still make the plays. Yes, he still has his limitations, but nothing stops Terry if he wants to get a 50-50 ball or he gets open on a certain slant play or whatever. I mean, Terry's tough as nails. I mean, he's going to make tough catches. He'll take a hit and he'll still take the catch. But again, I do want to see them add to the wide receiver room. And I would like someone that's comparable to Terry in a sense, like another guy that you could consider a number one or something on the opposite side, because most teams have multiple number one. Well, the good teams kind of have those multiple number ones, like the Jets. Well, I wouldn't call the Jets a good team, but they got multiple number ones and a Devontae Adams and a Garrett Wilson, and there's other teams like Tampa Bay with the Godwins and the Mike Evans, those type of groups. So, I would love to add to what Terry has. So for me, the opinion has changed on, can he be a number one in a successful offense? I think yes, but I do not think I've moved him so much up the ladder in terms of his peers in the NFL at wide receiver.
AJ, you got a question? I mean, a burning question.
Yeah, and I just came up with this question on the spot as we're doing the show. That's typically how I like to go with this new found segment. My question is, do you think that Washington can go undefeated in their division?
No. They're going to lose to the Eagles.
Yeah, I mean, they can beat every team in the division as many times as they want to beat them. I do think that because they have the talent to do so. But I do not think it's going to happen because it's the NFL. And in the NFL, you're just not going to have that kind of perfect season. Well, I'm just not expecting the perfect season. I do think the Eagles are going to get it once. And, I mean, they could possibly slip up to the Cowboys one time. I don't think it's going to change the outcourse of the season, but I do not have them at this point going undefeated in division. I can definitely see 5-1 though. 5-1 is much more attainable, and I would actually predict 5-1 in a division.
What makes both of you uncomfortable with them? Both of you guys said that the Eagles would give them a loss. Why do you believe the Eagles will give them a loss? Is it because of the lack of being able to necessarily stop the run game, or is it because the Eagles are a better team in every aspect?
No, it's the run game for me. I was just going to say it's the run game for me because they're similar to the Baltimore Ravens, who gave us issues. And that's a team that you on offense, because your defense may struggle against an offense like that. Now, when your team comes out and play offense, we have to be kind of damn near perfect. We had to be damn near perfect in the Ravens game to kind of come away with that victory. And we didn't come up with the victory because we weren't perfect. So, yeah, I do think those Eagles games, at least one of those Eagles games is going to be a struggle probably for the defense. And the margin of error is going to be very thin for the offense. So, I mean, they could slip up in that sense that they're not perfect in one of those games and the Eagles just take it.
I'm in the boat of I see everybody in the chat too. Jay Tizzy say yes in terms of the sweep. Benz doesn't think so. Well, Jay Tizzy clarified. He said they can, but probably won't. Amani says nope. They're going to struggle against the Eagles. Caleb says Dallas worse defense, worse offense, but Eagles have a better roster than us. Now, I don't know, Caleb, if you're saying that Washington can still sweep the division. So let me know what you're thinking. But I'm assuming that you think that Washington takes the L against Philly one of these games, if not both. For me, I think there's a combination of things. If anybody's been watching the Eagles of lately, they've been getting better on a week-to-week basis themselves. They've been better defensively as weeks went on, but they also have been finding their way as an offense. They've been more efficient. AJ Brown's coming back alive. Their run game has been more effective in terms of duality between Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley. So in terms of better than Washington, I don't necessarily say they are drastically better than Washington. I think that they've just been getting better as a team as the week's been on. They weren't super impressive over the first 4 or 5 weeks. It's just gotten better. Same thing with Washington. Like they weren't super impressive the first 2 weeks, but they've come out of nowhere in terms of like explosion. But then also defensively in terms of Washington, defensively they've been finding their way. And I think Philly has been during the same thing, just on a different scale. So Philly is in the standpoint of like, I just think that they are a talented football team that Washington is going to have to really battle both games to try and get a dub. And I think they'll find a way to get a dub in one of these weeks because I believe in Washington's offense. And I think Jayden Daniels, you have a chance with him in any given Sunday. But I also think that you're talking about a team in your division who is a really good football or they're a good football team. I don't trust Sirianni for shit, but they're a good football team and they're just finding their way, bro. So that's kind of where I'm at. I think it's just a combination of things, bro.
So one last thing, record-wise in the division, what do you think they finished off with? Of course, there's 6 games in the division. So what do you think their division record will be?
I'm going 5-1.
Yeah, I'm going 5-1 too. I think they sweep them bum ass Dallas teams. And I think I told y'all this before the season started. I don't give a damn what Washington's record is. I don't give a damn what New York's record is. They ain't losing to these motherfuckers, bro. They not losing. So y'all know what my score prediction finna be in a couple minutes. They not losing to New York, bro. That is over. That is over and done with. All those dumbass losses. Sorry for my language for the silent watchers that's not in the chat. But them dumbass losses that they've been having over the last couple years, it shouldn't been happening. And it is today. Sunday. So yeah, they going 5-1, bro. They not losing to New York, and I don't see them losing to Dallas, bro. Dan Quinn finna sweep them bum ass MFers.
Let's go.
But they probably going to split against Philly, bro. So yeah, that's.
But and more shout out to our boy Chuck. I saw Chuck on Twitter. I responded to his tweet earlier. Chuck talks like Joe. I don't know if you all remember how Joe Gibbs used to talk about our future opponents or whatever opponent we played. He would talk up the lowest opponent and make them feel like they were the 80s 49ers or the 90s Cowboys. And Chuck kind of doing that with the Giants. Like I've been seeing Chuck do it. Chuck's like, man, we got to be worried about the Giants. We got to be worried. Sure, we're going to lose to any team in the NFL. It's the NFL. Any given Sunday, if you aren't prepared or on your shit, you can lose to a certain team. But if Washington comes out playing the way I think they can play and the way they have been playing for the majority of this season, I'm with you. This game's not going to be close. This game's not going to be close. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hey, Benz, by the way, why you got me blocked? I know I mentioned that privately to the fellas on the show, because you tweeted something back to Mual, and then when I went to look at what was really said, I was blocked. I was like, damn, what I do to you?
Hey, Ben's what AJ do to you, man.
It must have been them years of purgatory, and you being
he must have been a howler. He must have been a howler. It gotta be.
You being a cynic, bro. He's like, I ain't got time for your shit.
He must have been part of the Sam Howell fan club, and
up there with Disco.
Mad. I got him tight.
You never know, bro. All right, let's get into our score predictions. Let's get into our MVPs. What's going on, Mual? Appreciate you checking in, big dog. All right, who want to take the floor first?
I'll go ahead. I think anytime that it's a division game, you always expect it to be close and competitive. But I think Cliff Kingsbury and that offense in particular want to rewrite their wrongs as far as what happened in week 2, where they were solely dependent on the leg of a Seibert making these field goals, 7 of them things, which is insane. I think that they will be disciplined and highly focused on being a very explosive offense, as they've shown for a majority of the season. And I think when all is said and done, that this team will win the game 34-13.
Well, look,
and of course, MVP is 5. I got 5 on it.
I'm not gonna sing the rest of that, but that's a good song. But no, I'm with you, AJ. Again, I mean, as a fan, I can talk shit because I'm not out there playing. You know, the players that they obviously have to focus it. We have no indication that these guys aren't going to be focused. Dan Quinn has had these guys ready for every single battle they played. I mean, the only thing that stopped Washington in these games is Washington with kind of silly mistakes in, you know, some of these games. So if Washington comes out on point in this game, which I fully expect them to, because they've already played the Giants, coming off an emotional loss, coming off an emotional win, but a win in which you left a lot of meat on the bone on the offense. I think those guys are going to come out there hungry, and I do not think that this game's going to be close. I see Washington putting up, I see 37-17. Washington wins. I think they get a score on defense in this game. There's going to be a score on defense, and of course, Jayden Daniels is the MVP of the game.
Hey, real quick, Jay Tyler, me and you both must be foolish if you predicted the same score that I did. So you said I say a bunch of foolishness, but then you said the same score I did. We both some damn fools.
So Washington has actually, to Dre's point, forced a turnover in their last 5 games, consecutive games. They forced a turnover. So I can see Daniel Jones finally coughing it up to Washington. I can see that. He has a rare ability to do so when it comes to us. But I can see that happening. I do think the game's going to be closer. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think Washington, like when it's like the last 5 minutes, Washington will probably be up comfortably in terms of like, oh, New York probably needs a touchdown plus this to make it happen. So like it'll be close enough to where they're battling. They just need to get a stop. I just don't think they'll ever get a stop, if that makes sense. And with that being said, I do think Washington wins 27-19.
Is this a 1 p.m. game?
It's a 1 p.m. game.
Yeah, it's a 1 game. Yep.
Yeah, I'm tired of 4 o'clock games, bro. Either give me 1 or give me night. Like, don't make it no 4 p.m. game, dog. We got
to get being a good premier team in the NFL. This is what they get. We're not used to that, AJ. We're not used to being a premier team.
With the Jets, bro. Premier team. Aaron Rodgers. 17 primetime games with Aaron Rodgers.
Hey, next week is gonna be crazy in
Steelers
DC.
game.
Pittsburgh Steelers game, bruh. It's so many Steelers fans that travel, but it's
and they
so
always
many that
take
are in
over
this area.
Yes,
and Pittsburgh's only 3 hours away. The last time I was there for a Steelers game was insane. I felt like I was in Pittsburgh.
Breland.
Was it a 2016 game?
I was a Breland game.
When Antonio Brown hit the twerk.
Yeah, twerking, bro.
I remember the Monday night game we had.
He was
against them in
twerking while
2008.
Breland got face full of dirt, bro, in the grass.
Oh man, yeah. But like, no, you're right. I mean, they travel well. That's going to be a game that comes, that we're going to have an issue with as far as
terrible
seeing the fans. But like I said, 2008 Monday Night Football, they took over our stadium, and that was the Jim Zorn year. We were 6-2. We were 6-2.
We was geeked up. They ran an onside kick on us, bro. Shut us up immediately.
Mm-hmm. And Byron Leftwich finished us off in that game. He took over for Ben Roethlisberger.
Hey, bro. I remember that, John. I remember the 04 game, bro. I don't remember before the 04 game. I was about to slice it.
The 04 game, Sean Taylor had a big hit, I think, on one of
that was on Willie Parker. Willie Parker.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. What did I say? Oh, I said he scored the MVP. Honestly, bro, I think the MVP gonna be, my guy, bro.
B-Rob.
Here we go.
Let's go. Hey, he gotta be different, man. We all said JD5. He go with B-Rob.
B-Rock going. B-Rock, how am I trolling, bro? Fedarian Mathis, dog. Hey, Byron Robinson, dog. He going for
and you clipped up the Fedarian Mathis clip. I hope he responded back to
you. Yeah, bro. Why you ain't like the post? Why you ain't like the post?
You know why?
You ain't like the post, bro.
AJ skipped over that mug.
Yeah, he said he ain't seen it, bro. He put the little shades on, bro. That's what he did.
I woke up, I rolled over, I looked at my phone, opened up the X app, and here goes Mual's face talking about his superstar. And I was like, I just threw my phone back on the bed. Like,
leave.
Hey, man.
You ain't got to hate like that, AJ, man. You ain't got to hate.
And now he done put on the damn Thunder days.
B-Rob, bro. You know what I'm saying? Get my man with 100 yards, 2 tutties, bro.
Ball over there looking like Mal. Look.
There you go. He about to start.
Maul over there looking like malnourished Ray Charles. Forget Steve.
Oh, man. That's crazy, bro. My own people doing that to me, bro. Everybody, I thought you was my man, bro. Now we gotta talk about what's cuz name? Pat the diabetic, bro. You on his side? I don't like that.
Hey, he came to 7 on the dot talking shit.
He did, bro. I knew he was gonna be back. I ain't gonna lie to you. All right, so where we at? He said, all right, we got Benz 38-23 Washington. Let me see if we got some more scores. 38-13 from Greg. Greg also said 6-0 in the division. Amani said 4-2 in the division. Where's some more scores? 27-17 Washington is a prediction. And then everybody else laughing me out. That's crazy. All right. Ain't
nobody put them damn shades on.
Hey, we out of here, bro. Hey, y'all can kick rocks, man. Go watch the Johnny Newton film session, man. Otherwise, we'll be back Sunday.
Hey, man, go put on your costume, get some Halloween candy.
Yeah, go get some. Yeah, y'all do that. I'm about to watch them. I'm about to watch some Thursday night football and hold my parlays here. Yeah, we gotta win some money, bro. That's gonna wrap it up for us. Y'all enjoy y'all weekend. Stay safe. Enjoy the game tonight. I do think it's gonna be a good game, despite Houston losing all their goddamn wide receivers. Yeah, I think it'll be a good game, bro. I think any game with Aaron Rodgers. I think any game with Aaron Rodgers is gonna be entertaining.
I think that you're going to see Tyrod play tonight because Houston is going to light Aaron Rodgers' ass up.
Jets are going to win tonight, AJ. I think the Jets are going to win tonight.
You think the Jets are going to win tonight?
Hey, Jay, I don't need you buying into the conspiracy, bro. You ain't got.
I think they're going to sneak up on them. Everybody thinks.
I'm saying, did you put money? Did you?
No, I didn't. I only did player props. No spread bets. No.
I did some props too, bro. I'm over here trying to hit the lotto, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm trying to do some lotto plays for a little bit.
Man, the Jets about to be 2-7 at the end of the night. That's insane.
But it's gonna be as long as it's a good game. I don't give a damn. And as long as my parlay hit, hey, I don't give a damn. All right, that's gonna wrap it up for us. Y'all enjoy y'all weekend. Stay safe. We'll catch y'all on Sunday. Peace.
Yes, sir.